guys, today's video is going to be on advanced blocking and a bunch of other tactics that I use in OWC where I had pretty good success, and it's very noob friendly, and I've got 2 full sets of drills that you can do offline, so you can be a brand new player and employ these tactics today and practice them. And I can almost guarantee you that if you just practice these a little bit, you'll do much better online. So basically the core of it really is to the way you block is very important. You want to block body punches by crouching down and into them, and head punches by pulling back and away. So you'll see here this guy is going to kind of do a pattern, and I'm going to block the jab to the head, and then I'm going to crouch down and block the body shot, and I'm going to let go of the block immediately between. So block, so up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right, and so you want to try to block immediately right as a punch comes in. That's kind of a feature called perfect block, and that's going to be gone over a lot more in the training. But anyway, you can see here I do pretty good. I'm not the greatest player at all, but I win because I use these tactics. This is a big part of it, is the defensive part and the pressure and being able to be right on the opponent anywhere in the ring and not get hurt too bad. So you can see here, here's the stats kind of working with, and I've got a build section down here as well before the training. So we're going to build a real durable character, and then you can practice him offline, and he's basically going to look kind of like this, where he's a slugger. But of course, you can modify that for your particular style and, your choice of character build. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working with in this particular section. That's what I use online. And my styles, this is really my style. It's a good representation of it. So you can see I get all those wins not with having any straight stats or uppercut stats. So I don't hide behind a backstep straight or side step uppercut or anything. I grind, and I win because I understand the game. So here's a good representation of the perfect block. You'll see I block right as the punch comes in. And this will be in the drills as well. So the longer we hold our block up, the weaker it gets. So we want to block right immediately as a punch comes in. And again, in the drills, there's going to be a lot of different counter punches and different things that you can do to take advantage of learning this perfect block, so they call it. Another thing we're going to focus a lot on, I'm going to talk a lot about the straights. The reason why is straights overpowered in this game. You can see on the left, the guy threw about 500. That's very typical. Another thing you'll see is okay, so if you can master these drills, the defense that's shown in the drills coming up here, you'll be able to hang with anybody, even if you're new. Like this guy's got a monster records because he has a certain combo that's real effective that he uses over and over. And I'm going to be covering that as well. And it's very important to be able to hang in there, like, right in the pocket with these guys. You have to survive in order to win, And also, you're going to hear me really emphasize a lot on countering straights and getting them to miss straights. Like, that's a huge factor, because most people spam straights or quote-unquote overuse it or rely on it heavily, however they want to say it without actually saying they're a spammer. But it's the most typical thing in the game, and if you can defeat that, like, your win rate will skyrocket. And that's really what my goal here with these videos is to do, is to get you where you can understand this and kind of hopefully I can convey to you exactly what I do to have the success that I do. So it's very important to be able to fight in the pocket and beat people up. You can't, you're not going to win consistently running backwards, throwing straights or side step uppercuts. The game's too old. People have been too wise to it. And another way these drills will help you is staying calm. This guy at the time was ranked number 8 in the world, and I was able to win this fight. But you can see they'll make it a real wild ride. They'll be all up on you, just slamming away with crazy combos and whatnot. And you continuously just do these drills and practice staying right up close and countering straights. You'll see that, like I said, you can just hang with anyone, and a lot of this stuff has just become second nature to you. It'd be muscle memory. So, and the drills will go over all that make that happen. But also, keep in mind that, like, you're not going to get knocked out in real life, so you can be up on people and just hang with them and block and not be afraid, okay? So, because some people, it's almost like it seems like they're afraid in real life. You feint at them and then they're jumping all over like scared. Like, no, just be calm and just chill, and then before you know it, it'll be very easy for you to just be in there with anyone. So practicing offline is a huge asset to you in this regarding this game. Okay, another big factor is pace, like how many punches you're throwing per round and your distance at first. You see how Ali's right at the end of the guy's straight? Never do that. Be all the way out or all the way up on him. And another thing is, this is where you should be. It's a round one. You want to be clinching a little bit 3 times per round and just slowing his roll, because the spammer can knock you out and be as sloppy as he wants until he's down to about 60% stamina. So that means he's got 4 rounds to just go crazy, even if he's only at 19% connect rate. So you got to slow it down and then start working on countering his straight. So you can see, like, this guy is trying to make a sprint, and we're going to clinch him, and that's in the drill as well. There's actually a way you can take some stamina off the other guy by doing that, and I'll go over that. Another thing is being very careful with missed punches. There's a second missed power punch, and that just opens you up to get knocked out. So you have to be very accurate as well. Okay, also keep in mind the uppercut to the body will break the Philly shell. Okay, especially where the elbow's bent there, you see that? So people will try to run away, and you got to be careful with that. When you get a stun early, just work the body, because the Philly shell is very difficult to hit early to fight. If you have an aggressive opponent, you press the LB or L1 on the PlayStation and push them off. If you have a person just waiting for you, they're waiting for either a backstep straight or a sidestep uppercut, you cannot participate. Do never, ever, ever throw at someone just waiting for you. I've been knocked out 1,000,000 times with that. So we'll push him a little bit and get him in the ropes and just do a little bit of body work. And don't go crazy though, because you can see he's blocking and he's looking for some counters. Like, I think he does a sidestep hook there. Also remain flat-footed unless you must go forward. You'll see I use a lunging uppercut to close the distance, but only one of them. As long as I know I'm going to hit him, you're good there. But other than that, be very careful of pressing the left stick towards your opponent, because the backstep straights are so prevalent now that you'll get caught with those for sure. And most people rely on them. Okay, also in the drills, we're going to be going over stepping counters. And to show what that does is here, like, the sidestep uppercuts are spammed in this game as well. And so you'll see I counter his sidestep uppercut with a sidestep hook. And that was by flicking, my left stick. And that will be in the drills. But that's going to be something that will really help you out too, because I rarely get hit with backstep straights. But anyway, again, practicing blocking and countering straights is huge, because this is really what Fight Night Champion has turned into. Basically, everybody just throwing straights. Okay, another massive factor is avoiding backstep straights. And you know how we had left the left stick alone not to go forward? This is what, the result of that. You'll see that he completely misses, and once we get him to miss 20 or 30 of those, like, the fight is almost going to be won as long as you don't get caught. You notice he's running away even though I scored. So there's a good shot. There's a shot that hit him. There's the miss straight, which I knew was coming. You need to be aware of those. Get another body shot in or two. Yeah, there we go. And then now I don't need to do anything else, and he's waiting for the backstep straight, because basically these guys, some of them, that's all they have. Now here's another thing. You want to identify any kind of pattern stuff they're doing. And he's throwing I found it right away, a right hook, left hook, straight. Right hook, left hook, straight. So these people practice these combos over and over and over because they are effective. And generally they'll end with a straight. So you need to identify those. And once you do all these drills, you're going to be able to sit in the pocket and block. And so I know the left hook will go under that straight. So I'm going to watch for that straight. And then as the fight progresses, it'll get slower and slower, and those body shots will start taking effect. And that's when I'll start stunning him. In fact, this guy, I think I actually dropped him with a level 1 straight. I don't have any straights in my head, but yeah. But anyway, that's part of the defense too, is you want to look for patterns, because most people have patterns. Very few people just kind of freestyle their fight. Okay, coming up here is now this is very important. I like this guy that made these videos. I don't have a problem with any of this, but basically he's got what's called a Rhino style easy KO. Most top level people use this combo now. It's a power uppercut to the body, power straight to the head. And here you'll see somebody trying it on me. He tried it with the hook. There it is, the uppercut to the body and the straight to the head. So it's like a cheap way to get easy knockouts, and it does work. But you see I crouch down and into it to block it, and then backing away on the straight to the head. So block low, block high.
He did not see that, and yet another throw the uppercut.
Alright, what we have here too is be ready at all times for any kind of backstep straight, push straight, side step uppercuts when you're fighting on the inside. So we keep our combos short so we can recover from, you know, our throwing our combos to countering whatever he's going to do. In this case, it was a push straight, so I just pushed straight, hooked him back. Again, here's a Rhino style. I'm countering this guy. So there it goes to the body, there's back to the head, and backing away. So, and we want to counter on the same side as his straight. So in this case, it'd be my left hook. All right, and another thing you'll find that when you do these drills and you employ these tactics, you're normally going to get these guys a straight percentage down very low. That's a key factor. That's really what's going to win the fight. And you'll notice they'll never go to like the guy's left uppercut. It's a much better percentage. Or his jab, but he'll never switch. They just keep doing straight. I don't know why. So here's some important factors. Stay flat-footed unless when punching or blocking. That's going to make your block much stronger. Always be prepared for a backstep straights or any bullshit like that. Focus on the straight punch when you're blocking. Okay, so an accuracy is everything. Accuracy leads to stamina. Stamina leads to winning fights. Now you'll notice here, if you watch this slow motion on the bottom left on the stamina, watch how I blow my stamina by just flicking the stick around, moving around. So no unnecessary movement. Now in just a second, I'm going to throw like a little jab here and watch my stamina goes down.
Roger's got that catch me if you can.
Throw the uppercut.
It's hard to see. It was a little bit, but.
Well, first of all,
And what do we got going here? Yeah, here we are again. Like this is about how you want to throw your combos, twos or threes until he gets stunned, then open up. And we're going to block, and we let go of the block and then block. So block right as the punch comes in.
Countdown, the final moments of this round.
Here we go. Yeah, now we crouch down into it. You see how that works?
Really doing a fine job here, Teddy. I know
so the body shots are down and into it, and the head shots are backing away from it. We want to hit him on the same side that he's been hitting us. Now, this is for some people that like the foul. You'll notice the referee's out of the frame. That's where you want to throw your low blows. And if you do that, this is very typical. Now, you'll see I move my head away from the punch here. And this is what you want to do in your drills. Remember I talked about the flat-footed? There's backstep straight we avoided. There's another one. And we'll try to counter him. Okay, this is a hardcore spammer, and this is the opening round. This is going to be very typical. And the sequence I got going here is really ideal. This is really what you want to do. So we got a couple things going here. Firstly, the left hook from the southpaw position counters the orthodox straight. And I'm throwing some feints in there, making him miss. And then I also crowd him once, and I'm only going forward when I need to. So I'm going to play this again here in a second. We'll see that. There's the push. We always know we're going to be waiting and ready for that. Okay, so when I crowded him, what I did here was I flicked the stick just like this image, and that's right before he throws it straight, so I can nullify the power on it. So here we go again. So the hook goes under the straight. Then now he's going to do a step back, and I'm standing flat-footed. Now I push stick forward because I need to go into him. Now we're going to do a feint, or no, here's the other punch. The missed side step uppercut. There's the feint. I'm going to do it again. We got him the miss. Now I'm going to crowd him. So it kills the power on his straight. He misses another one. So all we need is like 3, 4, 5 rounds of him doing that, and this fight's won. And this guy is a massive spammer. That's Big Hooligan on Xbox. He's always whipping leaderboards, and it's basically all straights and sidestep uppercuts. Okay, now also in the drills, we're doing some pull counters. See how easy that was? And those are in the drills too. This guy keeps showing up. I don't know what the deal was with him. Yeah, again, this is just, once again, because it is important, you got to be ready for any kind of nonsense they're going to do instead of fight. So that was a push, which is fine. You know, that's what he's supposed to do there. So. Okay, and again, here we go. Remember, we block the high punches high and the low punches low. And we don't have to punch back just because, you know, he's punching at us. We want to punch when we feel like we want to. It's still second round. There's no need to go crazy. And you can see he's not doing anything to me, but he's blowing his stamina, that's for sure. And I know for sure the way they're coming out, he's using buttons, and those take up a lot more stamina than the sticks. Alright, so we're going to finally get to these drills here in a moment. And first we have this kind of a stat sheet, and shout out to Vanilla Beast for this. Check out his channel, Vanilla Beast. So you'll see the important factor here these days is the toughness, which is the second column from the far right. So we want brawler or inside fighter, and I think inside fighter is actually 97, but nonetheless we want the toughness. That's what's important these days. And so because you'll notice here, so these are inside fighters. These are the stats from some fighter builds I found on YouTube. You notice they all put it on the straight. Straight's 8,700 points. The body shot's only like 3,300. So they mostly do the straight to the head and then something else. Have no body shot. So that means we just need to avoid the straight and then get them in a position where we can work the body. So here is the okay, for the sake of these drills, what you want to do is make a heavyweight, make them the shortest that it can be, 5'10", make him heavy and give him a big build. So Fat Man Tyson or Big Bone, maybe Big Man, or just use Joe Frazier if you don't feel like doing all this. But you want to have him shorter reach also. So short in height, heavy, and short reach for inside fighting, okay? And like I said, Tyson or Big Boned or Fat Man. Fat Man is probably the most durable. You want Southpaw just to test it out. The punch, the style will be power. That's very important. And then cross block. That's very important. And regarding the AI tendencies, it seems that when I fight online in a style that's similar to how I have my settings, that I generally get back more on my recovery after the round's over. But you know, that's all debatable. So if someone knows for sure they tested this thoroughly, just leave a comment and then we'll just go with that. But the important thing here is when hurt is fight back. Okay, so what I would do is I'd run a fight, see what punches you throw and all that, and then adjust your sliders to how you actually your punch stats. So here's our stats. What you want to do is learn to fight without a straight to the head. So just, you know, level up your hooks to the head, and also level up your straight to the body. I don't have that leveled here, but basically just level all your body shots. And the head movement will either just be the first star, so 5 points, or 8 points. But your body shots, max those out so you can practice with those. But don't use the straight at this point. So this is just explaining that if you buy it from the store, the XP, you can reuse it over and over when you build a new fighter. So I'll make another video on that. Now, this is important. Don't move that left stick when you're punching or blocking. If you get pushed or you need to close distance, flick the left stick directly back at the opponent. Here's when I talk about backstep, we're going to flick the left stick away from the opponent. And now we do bob and weave. We're going to rotate the stick like such, and you can optionally throw other punches with it, with the sticks or buttons. And again, if you get pushed, you can immediately sling back into him by flicking the left stick directly back at him. And then let's say if you want to counter, stepping counter would be flick left or right. This would be right. So we flick down and that would step to the right. So we can throw some stepping punches also. So you flick and then punch. Now here Okay, now this is just general like distancing for online. This is not going to apply offline. But online, inside the red circle is basically in this area of the ring is where you want to throw single punches or use a lot of feints and or stay close or all the way outside, because people, that's where they look for backstep straights, etc. Also be careful inside the yellow ring, and then in the green zone is where we want to go ahead. We can open up more then, but still be careful the backstep straight. Okay, so here we're starting to drill. I loaded my fighter that we just created, but I also added a straight to the body because we're going to be doing some jabs. We're going to switch stance and do some jabs with that too. So again, just you can use Joe Frazier also. And I've got like the Vanilla Beast stat sheet. I've made the brawler. So that's important. So just use that sheet, and you want to make the brawler like you would rated 90, like an OWC clone. We're going to select Tyson as our opponent, greatest of all time. Then just leave everything default except these last three is going to be maxed out because we want him to have the best chance possible, and we want him to throw a lot of punches. So here we go, and again the goal is to crouch down to block the body, like so, and then away for the head. And you're just going to stand and block, and we're going to let go of the block button until we actually block. So the sooner that we press the block button as a punch comes, the better it's going to block. And we want to twist away from the head punches and down and into the body punches, and stay flat-footed, because that's a big, if you're moving your feet around, that's when you get hit. So when you're engaging and you know you're going to be blocking there for a few minutes or a few seconds, stay flat-footed. And we open the block and close it, open and close it as the punches come into him. Okay, and as you're doing these exercises, you'll feel in your controller, and the sound will be a particular sound where, when you do it correctly, you'll definitely be able to tell. So that will give you, an indication on your timing, if you need to do a little bit earlier or a little bit later. And if there's a barrage of punches coming and you need to keep the block held for 2 punches, that's okay generally. But ideally, you want to let go of the block and then re-engage it right as the punch comes in. And now, since this actually, you could apply this online with if you have the chin and the weight on your character and the power style and the build as well. Now, the downside is that you can't do backstep straights and all the side step uppercuts and all that very effectively, and so if that's kind of like your style, I don't think this can really help you out too much. But if you're new and you don't really have a style, or you're just looking for some pointers, this definitely will work good. And now you notice also that we are staying close to him, and in this particular set of drills here, it's real basic. All we're going to do is really block and block until he gets tired out. And then the next set of drills, we restart the fight, but then I show all the counters, and that's kind of where the fun stuff is.
Final 10 seconds. Tyson's got to feel good about himself after that last round.
Okay, now the recovery is a huge factor, especially early in the fight. So we'll see, what do I get back here? Was it 98? So that's very, very important, and we're going to watch the progression of maintaining that high stamina throughout the rounds and comparing that with Tyson's. And really, when you play opponents online, that directly relates. So if you can get a stamina advantage of, say, 25, 30%, that's enough to win the fight for you, because what will happen is eventually you'll start stunning them out of the blue. Your punches will land harder on them, and theirs will be less effective. Their punches will be less effective, and the scoring will start going your way. So the stamina advantage is a massive factor, and you can do that really by stuffing or their punches, smothering their punches, and that also, staying close takes their power away as well. So there'll be certain ranges that you want to stay away from, like out here actually, like that. This is not a good range. So we want to be all the way out
wants to make sure that
or get all the way up on him.
So he puts everything.
And in the next segment, I believe I do some body jabs. Yeah, there we go. If we're kind of outside, we just do a jab to the body, because online, they're going to be looking for step back straight or side step uppercut. So we're going to close the distance with just a real simple jab to the body, usually. Or, yeah, in the other set, I have more advanced drills. This is just the basics, but you can easily either use the dash, how we dashed in, or a bob and weave, or a jab, or a double jab. But nonetheless, for this time, what we're going to do in this first section here is just focus on learning how to get that perfect block going.
10 seconds remaining in this round.
Okay, and online, you know, the people, they're going to have those long arms. You know, I don't ever come across anyone that uses 67 or 69-inch reads or 70 online. Generally, they're all in the 80s, 86, 88, something like that, 84. So those people are even less effective on the inside. And again, remember we looked at the graphics that had their punch stats, and almost all of them load up on straights, and they don't have body shots. And I've also notice that online as well. Like usually somebody will have like a one uppercut to the body maxed out, but definitely I would say, from what I can tell on how hard they hit, probably 90% of the people have power level 20 straights, and it's so they can get the knockouts. But anyway, this is just a little quick replay showing, you know, we want to try to crouch down and into the body shots and backing away from the head shots. And again, we're going to block right as the punch comes in, and then try to release the block, and then block again as the second shot comes in, and the third and the fourth. But if you must, you know, hold it down for 2 punches, maybe 3 tops, that's okay too. But yeah, ideally you want to block right as it comes in and stay, you know, close. Like that's a bad range right there.
He clinches when he gets to the inside.
Finish with the hook. Move your head.
That's just like a little love shove right there. Just a little love shove to give yourself some room. And now looking to hang.
Okay, another thing is clinching. Remember we put the stats on the character as clinches often, and we've got all that weight. Okay, so in a moment there's going to be a slow motion section where I clinch him, and what you want to do is when he's getting tired, after he misses a big shot, or you land a big shot, or you land like a 3-punch combo, like a clean one, if you clinch him, most times it will take a little bit of stamina off of both of you. So when your opponent's getting tired, and this is a dirty, dirty trick, and I've actually had people complain in the past, you watch as this clip coming up, we take a little bit of a stamina off. We don't want to clinch more than once, not twice in a row, not more than once. You know, once and then box a little bit, and then he misses a shot, then you clinch him again. But do it maybe three times max per round. If you repeatedly clinch in a row, you will gas yourself out. Also, you can punch off the clinch. I have a video called Chicken Wing Spam on my channel, and I cover that in detail. So watch the stamina bar here.
10 clicks of the top.
See that? And also you can slow their roll, you know, when you have like a real aggressive spammer coming at you early in the fight. And also the clinch will take a little bit of stamina off them too if you do it when he misses or you land something good. So that's why the importance of having the extra weight. If you have a skinny guy, you don't want to be doing the clinching at all. But since we have the heavy guy, we can go ahead and do that and use that as a tool. Whereas conversely, you know, you have these little small, thin guys that are 215 heavyweight, you know, 215 pounds as a heavyweight, and they got the Philly shell and all that, and they're jumping left, jumping right. So they get to do that, but you know, your advantage is being able to clinch and push them around the inside. And there's more in the next drill. There's some pushing. So we'll hit that on that. But you saw here the importance of having the stamina. advantage and how Mike Tyson throwing all those punches ineffectively killed his stamina. We didn't jump around. We didn't do any excessive head movement or anything. And, you know, we just did. The less we punch, the less stamina we use as well. Of course, we'll lose rounds, but if you get a stamina advantage by losing some early rounds, that's fine. You'll catch them late. Okay, this is going to conclude the real basic blocking section here, but you'll see at the very end here, I use a push and I kind of rough them up, and I also use like a little lunging uppercut. So once you get a good stamina advantage on someone, these are things you can do online. This directly translates online. You can do this. And if you see any of my fights that I posted for fun, you'll see some of this in there too, in the Bald Bully playlist. So you can see I kind of mugging him up on the ropes. There's this lunging uppercut. So this will be the beginning of the next section. Okay, here we're going to start the next section of the training session. And of course we're going to go to the main menu of Fight Night Champion. We'll go to Fight Now, so we play offline. And then we'll select our boxer in the list here that we made on the boxer share menu earlier. And we want to pick our brawler. Or, like I said, you can use just Joe Frazier if you don't feel like going through all this. But the important thing is the toughness, the short reach, the power style, the cross block, and, you know, the good brawler chin and the toughness. Because it's all about toughness and chin, being able to take shots and get up close. On our settings, we want to give our sparring partner the best offensive and defensive awareness we can. And his punch output high, so he throws a lot of punches. Now, I prefer higher wide in the camera view and cinematic, so I can see any kind of counter punches. If you know, sometimes it's hard to tell on the default. So here we go.
Well, they've been waiting for this moment.
And one thing you can do online at OWC is block the body by default, so you crouch down like so. And what that will do is really nullify any kind of pattern spam or Rhino style, you know, that starts with a body shot, because you'll block the body by crouching down, of course. But the you don't want to do that if you feel that someone has a real powerful uppercut. You know, you don't want to block the body or block low by default. But if they don't, you can block low, and it will block the straight really well too.
Reach advantage.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the same thing. Block low, block high. You know, body shots we crouch down and into, and headshots back and away, and then release and reset our block after each punch, if we can. If we have to block two, that's fine. But we want to give the opponent like 2 rounds to 3 rounds to cool off. I'm going to do a little bit more early here with Tyson, but if this was like emulating a OWC fight, I would have basically done this for just 3 rounds to get him, you know, a lot more slowed down than he is now. So you got to take your time online. I would take the first 3 rounds at least, just chilling out and seeing what they're going to do, and figuring out what combos they have, and land a few body shots here and there. But now we're going to get into some counter punching and the more fun parts. Okay, this is a pull counter. What I'm doing, I'm leaning down, then back, and then when I swing back, I'm going to throw the left hook with the right stick. So this is about 1 o'clock position on the stick, the right stick. So left stick is down, back, and when you're coming back forward, the right stick will throw the punch. So just practice that. All you got to do is just go down, back, punch, down, back, punch. So like, you know, lean down, lean back, then punch. And then work on just leaning back and punching. There you go. So lean back, and then let go of the block and punch, right? Just practice that over and over until you get it one time on one side, and then you'll be able to do it on all the other sides after that.
One of the guards was a former fighter. Actually, his name was Bobby Stewart. And when Tyson found that out, he asked him to teach him a little boxing. And as he developed, Stewart called up.
Okay, in just a moment, Tyson's going to clinch, and what you want to do is watch his stamina bar.
Nice strike after catching one by the bully. Circle! Good defense upstairs to stay away from that offensive assault. Just 10 seconds.
Okay, right now, coming in a moment after the round break is the most important aspect of all this, and you're going to see that I get back 13% on my stamina recover, so we want 12 to 14%, and it's very critical that you go in the round 2 with, you know, at least 90%. You want 95 if you could, and this is as heavyweights. But we're at 96, that's pretty good, because we want to go into round 3 with, you know, at least 90 if we can, and keep the stamina up high. We want to try to go to round 10 with 60 minimum. 60% stamina remaining as a minimum as a heavyweight, and rated 90 in OWC. So here we're doing some, I think I do a couple combos here. Oh yeah, this is great combo versus straight spammers. So it's going to be a jab to the head and a straight to the body from the southpaw position versus orthodox. And this is in my other spam videos too, a lot of this. So it's a jab to the head, straight to the body. And that's it. And then be careful going forward, because that will pretty much nullify his backstep straight if he throws one, or counter his straight to the head. So that's a combo you want to use, and just be very careful with it. Okay, in a moment you're going to see me throw a couple jabs to the body, even though it's got no stats on it. It's just a level 1. You can do this online as well. It kind of just nullifies what he's going to be doing, and you'll see this here real quick, but we're not trying to do much in this middle of the ring here. You remember the graphic I had shown up? Because really what we're going to do is we want to get a stamina advantage, and then we're going to get him on the ropes and just wreck him. We're saving our stamina and our health. We're kind of letting him wear out, and then we're going to go destroy him once, you know. In just a second, Tyson clinches, and watch his stamina bar.
He hits you behind the back a little bit in the rib area, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, see, he just lost a piece. So that's what clinching does, especially when you're clinching against a heavier opponent. And now the counters, the pull counters look cool and everything, and I know it'd be, and they absolutely do work great online as well, you know, in OWC or head to head. But you don't want to spam it, because they do take more stamina than regular punches. You know, I've come across guys that throw nothing but pull counters the first 3 rounds or so, but then they're dead, you know, and once the fight starts progressing. So you don't want to make it a habit, or you don't want to spam it, you know, just here and there.
Yeah, it's going to pay off for him.
And you can do different punches too, like you can see him kind of playing with the uppercut, trying it, even though I don't have any stats on it. And again, that clinching is killing him.
He's not busy enough.
Final 10 seconds of round number 2.
So
banking away a body shot with the right hand.
okay, so once again, you see I got back 13%. I'm still in the 90th percentile regarding my stamina, and that we did that from being accurate. So in a moment, I'm going to kind of let Tyson push me up on in the corner, and I'm going to show a way to get out of there. So we're going to use the step hook, and I have that graphic up a little bit earlier where I show flick. So we flick the left stick to the direction we want to move, and then we're going to flick the other stick, the punch stick, to the punch. So you see I'm in the corner, so I flicked to my left, and the left stick left, and then the right stick I threw the hook. So let's look at that again. So you flick, hit, flick, hit. So flick the left stick, punch, flick the left stick, punch. Until we get in the middle of the ring. So that'd be about 2 to 3 times. So never let yourself get in a corner and get beat up, you know, and that way we get out of that. It's kind of a cheap move. It's not even realistic at all. But, you know, I mean, I don't know, it's more realistic than the backstep straights, you know, but still, it's, you know, it's not real. But that's how you would get out of the corner if you had to. But you'll notice with this type of fighter, if you run a brawler, people run from you, even the top people. No one's going to want to be in a corner with you. They run the whole fight. If you see my chicken wing video, you'll see that. But anyway, see here we are in a corner, and we're going to spin. So we're going to flick the left stick to move out of there, and then we're going to hit him with a punch like right away, so rapidly, repeatedly. And then we can stop and maybe give him a push and see if we can't throw him in the corner. See, so we flick, flick, flick. Now we're back out in the center. And there's really nothing people can do about that unless they step with you. Most people don't do that. Okay, a couple small things here. Remember we had a level 20 straight to the body from southpaw. Now we turn orthodox and you'll see my jab. That's now a high level jab because the power carries over. Same hand, same side, all that. So we can actually use that, and that doesn't do a whole lot, but it does nullify him and take some stamina off him. So that will stop his punches from his right side. So most people fight orthodox, and that would stop it straight. Also, we're doing more corner stuff here. I'm kind of pushing him a little bit this time, so we can throw a couple punches, push. 1, 2, 3, push. See how far he went? 1, 2. See how far got him out of there. So that's another way you can keep people off you, is press the it's going to be the LB or L1 button immediately after your combo. So 1, 2, push, or 1, 2, 3, push, and that will keep people off you and kind of discombobulate them and keep them off balance. So that will stop like sustained attacks. In a moment, I'm going to be doing some perfect block with the counter off it. So we're going to block and then hit immediately.
Good biting, snapping shot by Mike Tyson.
So we tried it. So when he hits with his right, I'm going to try hit with my left. And he hits with his left, I'm going to try hit with my right. So same side to same side. So block and immediately shoot the punch off. There we go. Caught me there good, but this next one, I crouch down a little bit and into it, and then immediately I'm going to throw my left hook. Okay, that works all the time, and that's something you definitely can implement on your game plan at OWC. So these drills, if you do this, especially this second one, these tactics, just getting out of the corner, pushing them after a combo, and using this perfect block, it'll really help you out. But main thing is maintaining the stamina advantage and just taking the fight slow. Let them miss as many punches as you can get them to miss in the beginning of the fight, because the more punches they miss, the less stamina they're going to have between rounds. And so if you have someone that's very sloppy, what you want to do is let the game punish them. So let the fight go 3, 4, 5 rounds, and let them keep missing the backstep straights and all the side step uppercuts. And because once you have a stamina advantage, say you're at 85% stamina and they're down at 60, like, you're going to start noticing a big change in how the opponent reacts when he's getting hit, and you're going to notice a big difference on the scorecards as well. Okay, now here's just a little small thing. You'll notice I throw the jab to the body, then a hook to the head. That's how you want to do a lot of your combos if you can, is one low, the first one low, the second one high. So here we go, and because it really opens up the shot to the head a lot more than if you were just, say, throw 2 to the head. And the hook to the body versus the orthodox from southpaw stance is money, or straight to the body. So here we're going to go low again, then high, low, high.
But now you put speed, you're doing it even better. You're doing
and then high, low.
Higher level.
Here's one for you now,
And that actually is a really good way to finish people. Usually my finishes happen with a straight to the body, left hook to the head or something. For whatever reason, that punch is just killer. I don't know why. The straight to the body and then the hook to the head on the other side it just works real well. And here we do a little bit of bob and weave, and the graphic shows how to do it again. So you're going to rotate the stick from like 6 o'clock up to 12, something like that. The left stick. And this is something I use a lot too. This is good in the late fight when they're tired. Use the bob and weaves occasionally.
Get on your bicycle when you've been hurt. No, the bicycle's not there. You got flat tires. What you got to do is grab on the...
Okay, here's this last part. You see him kind of spamming the bob and weave with a power shot coming off it. Obviously, you wouldn't do that online. You wouldn't spam that, but you will use it occasionally. But it's very good late fight. So hopefully this helped y'all out. And then if maybe I'll make another video on combos or you know, the actual bob and weave and things like that. So thanks a lot for everybody watching, and take care, everybody. Appreciate it.
He was able to get up and continue on last time. Now he goes down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ref is stopping this fight.